Hello guys, welcome to Saiyan What If. So in this video, we will see what if all Saiyans survived. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, Scattered Seeds. Bardak's head pounded like someone had taken a sledgehammer to his skull. The visions slammed into his consciousness without mercy. Planet Vegeta exploding, his sons fighting in strange armor, a golden-haired warrior facing Frieza. Blood trickled from his nose as he steadied himself against the wall of the mining outpost. "You all right there, Bardock?" Tora asked, concern flashing across his face. "You look like hell." "Something's wrong," Bardock growled, wiping the blood away. "These visions, they're getting stronger. Frieza's planning something big." Tora crossed his arms. "More of your fortune-telling. The guys are starting to talk, you know. I don't give a damn what they say." Bardock snapped, his tail lashing behind him. "I've seen it, Tora. Frieza destroys our planet. Kills everyone. The only survivors are the Saiyans off-world during the attack." Before Tora could respond, their scouters beeped simultaneously. An encrypted channel, unusual for standard deployment communications. "All units return to Planet Vegeta immediately," the voice ordered. Lord Frieza's direct command. Bardock ripped the scouter from his face, crushing it in his fist. "It's happening now." "What are you talking about?" Tora demanded. "Why would Frieza recall all Saiyans to the planet?" Bardock's eyes narrowed. "He's gathering us in one place. Like animals for slaughter." Tora's expression hardened as the implication sank in. "If what you're saying is true, we need to warn the king," Bardock said, already moving toward their attack pods. "And we need to move fast." King Vegeta paced the throne room, his cape sweeping behind him with each turn. The prince, barely 8 years old but already carrying himself with royal arrogance, watched his father from the corner. "You believe this, low-class warrior?" Zoran, the king's advisor, asked incredulously. "His claims are absurd. Lord Frieza needs us." "Needs our obedience, you mean," the king growled. "I've suspected Frieza's intentions for some time. The recall order confirms it." Prince Vegeta stepped forward. "Father, let me go to Frieza myself." Quiet, boy," King Vegeta snapped. "This is beyond even your abilities." The throne room doors burst open as Bardock strode in, flanked by guards who'd failed to stop him. "Your Majesty, there's no time for debate. Frieza will be here within hours." "How dare you enter without," Zorn began. "Let him speak," the king commanded, studying Bardock carefully. "You're the one who's been having these visions." Bardock nodded. "I've seen our destruction, your Majesty. Frieza fears us, fears what we might become. The Super Saiyan legend terrifies him." The prince's eyes widened at the mention of the legendary transformation. King Vegeta stroked his beard, weighing the soldier's words. "And what would you have me do? Abandon our homeworld based on your dreams?" "Not dreams. Visions. And yes, evacuate every Saiyan you can," Bardock urged. "If I'm wrong, punish me later. But if I'm right and you do nothing." A heavy silence fell over the throne room. King Vegeta locked eyes with Bardock, seeing the absolute conviction there. "Prepare the evacuation," the king finally ordered. Quietly. "We have hundreds of attack pods, but we'll need larger ships for the children and non-combatants." "Your Majesty!" Zorn protested. "If this warrior is wrong, we lose face," King Vegeta replied coldly. "If he's right, we lose everything. I will not gamble with the future of our race." He turned to Bardock. "Coordinate with the military command. You have 1 hour to begin the evacuation." Bardock bowed, relief evident on his scarred face. "Thank you, your Majesty." As he turned to leave, Prince Vegeta called out, you. What becomes of us in these visions of yours? Bardock looked at the young prince. That depends on what we do now, prince. The future is always in motion. Chaos erupted across planet Vegeta as word spread. Some refused to believe, others scrambled for the limited spots on evacuation vessels. King Vegeta commandeered every available ship in the spaceport while sending urgent encrypted messages to Saiyans deployed across the galaxy, warning them not to return. In the royal hangar, Paragus approached the king with his infant son Broly in his arms. Your Majesty, I beg you, the readings on my son are unprecedented. He could be the key to our survival against Frieza. King Vegeta regarded the child with suspicion. Or a threat to my son's rightful place. That power level is unnatural. He's just a child, Paragus pleaded. A child with the power to overthrow the royal line, the king replied. Take him if you wish, but you'll both be exiled from the royal faction. Is that understood? Paragus's face darkened with rage, but he nodded stiffly. We will remember this, my king. Across the launch bay, Bardock searched frantically for his wife Jine. Bardock, she called, pushing through the crowd with Raditz at her side. We've been looking everywhere for you. He embraced them briefly, his usual warrior stoicism cracking. Where's Kakarot? Already in an attack pod, Jine answered. I programmed its course before the evacuation order. He's headed for a peaceful planet called Earth. Bardock nodded. Good. Follow the king's ship with Raditz. I need to make sure more of our people escape. Raditz, only a child but already showing the pride of a Saiyan warrior, grabbed his father's arm. I want to stay and fight with you. Bardock knelt to his son's level. Listen to me. There are battles ahead that will need your strength. But surviving today is how we get the chance to fight tomorrow. Go with your mother. Reluctantly, Raditz nodded. What about you? Jine asked, fear evident in her eyes. I'll be on the last ship out, Bardock promised. Now go. From his command ship, Frieza watched the unexpected activity on planet Vegeta with growing irritation. My lord, Zarbon reported, it appears the monkeys are evacuating. Somehow they've become aware of your plans. Frieza's tail lashed angrily. How, unfortunate. It seems I've underestimated their animal instincts for self-preservation. He raised a finger, gathering energy. No matter. I'll simply have to be more thorough. The fleet isn't in optimal position yet, Lord Frieza, Dodoria cautioned. Some ships will escape if you strike now. Then they will live with the knowledge that they scurried away like vermin, Frieza snarled. I'll hunt down the survivors later. For now, I want that planet destroyed. The ball of energy at Frieza's fingertip grew to massive proportions, casting an orange glow throughout the bridge of his ship. Let this be a message to anyone who would defy me, Frieza laughed as he launched the attack toward the planet. Bardock stood at the viewport of the last evacuation ship as it cleared the atmosphere. Behind him, hundreds of Saiyan warriors and civilians watched in stunned silence as an enormous energy ball descended toward their homeworld. The impact was blinding. Planet Vegeta seemed to hold for just a moment before cracking apart from within, exploding into cosmic dust. The shockwave rocked their ship violently. No one spoke. The proud warrior race, collectively holding their breath, watched their birthplace disappear forever. He'll hunt us across the galaxy now, someone finally said. Bardock turned to address the ship's passengers, his face illuminated by the fading light of their destroyed world. Then we'll need to become hunters ourselves. Years passed. On a quiet planet called Earth, a small boy with wild spiky hair and a monkey tail climbed trees with inhuman agility. Son Goku, as the old man who found him had named him, grew up with no knowledge of his alien heritage. Grandpa Gohan watched the energetic child leap between branches, marveling at his strength. The boy had been unusually aggressive as a baby, but a fall that injured his head had transformed him into a sweet, if extraordinarily powerful, child. Goku. Time for dinner. Gohan called. The boy instantly changed direction, practically flying down from the treetops. Coming, Grandpa. I'm starving. Gohan chuckled as Goku devoured enough food for 5 grown men. Slow down, boy. The food isn't going anywhere. But I'm so hungry, Grandpa. Goku complained between mouthfuls. I was practicing my punches all day. You certainly have a warrior's appetite, Gohan observed, not for the first time wondering about the child's origins. The spacecraft he'd found Goku in had long since been hidden away in a cave. Someday, he thought, the boy might need to know the truth, but not yet. Not while he could still enjoy a carefree childhood. Later that night, as Gohan prepared for bed, he noticed Goku staring up at the starry sky. What are you thinking about, Goku? He asked gently. The boy shrugged. I dunno. Sometimes I look at the stars and feel like I'm supposed to remember something important. He yawned widely. Probably just hungry again. Gohan ruffled the boy's unruly hair. Get some sleep. Tomorrow I'll teach you a new fighting technique. Really? Awesome! Goku exclaimed, immediately forgetting about the stars. As the boy drifted off to sleep, Gohan gazed out the window at the night sky. Something told him that one day, those stars would come calling for his grandson. On the other side of the galaxy, Prince Vegeta slammed his fist into a training bot, sending it crashing into the wall of the gravity chamber. Increase gravity to 50 times normal, he commanded. Prince Vegeta, the ship's computer responded, your father has prohibited training above 40 times gravity for those under. Override. Authorization code Royal Air. Vegeta snapped. 50 times gravity now. The chamber hummed as the gravity intensified. Vegeta immediately felt the crushing pressure pushing him toward the floor. Gritting his teeth, he forced himself to stand upright. King Vegeta entered the command code from outside, overriding his son's settings. The gravity slowly returned to normal as the door slid open. Disobeying direct orders again, I see, the king said coldly. The young prince scowled. How am I supposed to become strong enough to defeat Frieza with these childish restrictions? By surviving long enough to reach your potential, King Vegeta replied. Breaking your body before it's ready won't make you stronger, it will make you dead. We should be attacking Frieza's outposts, not hiding like cowards, the prince argued. The king's hand moved faster than the eye could follow, striking his son across the face. You think I enjoy this existence? Skulking through the shadows of the galaxy while that tyrant believes he's broken us? He grabbed the prince by his armor. Everything I do, everything, is to ensure our people survive and rise again. Someday you will lead them, but not if your recklessness gets you killed first. Prince Vegeta glared defiantly at his father but remained silent. The council meeting starts in 10 minutes, the king said, releasing him. As heir, you will attend. After the king left, Vegeta touched his cheek where the blow had landed. One day, he promised himself, he would surpass not only his father but Frieza as well. And everyone who had ever doubted the prince of all Saiyans would bow before his power. Bardock's faction operated from a series of constantly moving ships and temporary bases. Once a squad of planet-conquering warriors, they had transformed into resistance fighters and information brokers, gathering intelligence on Frieza's operations. Frieza's forces just left the Tarshan system, Tora reported, entering Bardock's sparse quarters. Planets totally stripped of resources. Bardock studied the star map projected in the center of the room. Dozens of planets were marked with Frieza's symbol, showing the extent of his empire. Any word from our source in the Cold Army? Negative. Lika hasn't reported in 3 cycles, Tora said, concern evident in his voice. Could be maintaining cover, could be. She's alive, Bardock stated with certainty. Though his prophetic visions came less frequently now, he still occasionally glimpsed fragments of possible futures. She's close to something big. Something Frisia doesn't want found. The ship's intercom crackled. Commander Bardock, we're receiving a transmission from the royal faction. King Vegeta requests immediate contact. Bardock and Tora exchanged looks. The royal faction communicated rarely, preferring to operate independently from the other Saiyan groups. On the secure channel, King Vegeta's stern face appeared. Bardock. Report on your search for the remaining Saiyan children. We've located and retrieved 6 more in the past year, Bardock replied. Most had already completed their invasion assignments but hadn't received the recall order. And your son? The one sent to Earth? Bardock tensed. The king rarely inquired about specific Saiyans, especially low-class warriors. No confirmation yet. We've been maintaining distance as per protocol. Earth is in a sector Frisia considers worthless, no valuable resources or strategic position. That changes now, King Vegeta declared. I want the boy retrieved immediately. May I ask why the sudden interest in Kakarot? Bardock questioned, careful to keep his tone respectful. The king's eyes narrowed. Our scientists have been analyzing the legendary Super Saiyan transformation. There's evidence suggesting it may be triggered by specific emotional catalysts, not just power level. And this concerns my son. How, exactly? Your bloodline has shown unusual adaptability, King Vegeta replied grudgingly. And the planet Earth has unique energy properties that could accelerate development. Bardock didn't believe for a second that was the whole truth, but he nodded. I'll send Raditz to retrieve him. See that you do. The royal faction will rendezvous at these coordinates in 30 days. We expect your son to be present. The transmission ended abruptly. Tora whistled low. Since when does the king care about your family? He doesn't, Bardock said grimly. He cares about weapons he can use against Frisia. And apparently, he now thinks Kakarot might be one of those weapons. Raditz had grown into a powerful warrior, his long mane of hair flowing down his back as he trained in the combat simulator. At 19 years old, he'd already built a reputation as one of Bardock's most effective squad leaders. The simulation froze as Bardock entered. Dad! I was just about to beat my record on the Jinyu simulation. You'll have to finish it later, Bardock said, tossing him a data pad. New assignment. Solo mission. Raditz scrolled through the information, his expression changing from interest to surprise. Earth? You're sending me to find Kakarot? A grin spread across his face. About time. I've been saying for years we should bring him into the fold. This comes from the king himself, Bardock cautioned. I don't know his true motivation, but be careful. Kakarot has been on Earth his entire life. He won't know anything about his heritage. So I tell him, Raditz shrugged. He's a Saiyan. The call to battle is in his blood. Bardock gripped his older son's shoulder. It's not that simple. According to the data we have, Earth is peaceful. Kakarot was sent there as an infant. He may not welcome the truth. Then he needs to grow up, Raditz replied confidently. We're fighting for the survival of our race while he's been playing on some backwater planet. He should thank me for bringing him into the real fight. Bardock sighed, recognizing his own younger, more arrogant self in his son. Just, try diplomacy first. We need him willing, not resentful. Fine, Raditz agreed dismissively. When do I leave? Immediately. Your pod is prepped in Bay 3. Bardock hesitated, then added, and Raditz? Remember he's your brother. Family is rare enough for us now. Raditz nodded, his expression softening slightly. I'll bring him back in one piece. Promise. As Raditz left to prepare for his journey, Bardock felt a familiar pressure building behind his eyes. The visions came less frequently now, but always at significant moments. He braced himself against the wall as images flashed through his mind, Kakarot, grown to adulthood, facing off against Raditz on an open field. A massive energy beam piercing through two bodies. A planet exploding in the distance. And finally, his son with golden hair and eyes filled with rage, power radiating from him in waves. Bardock gasped as the vision faded, leaving him drenched in sweat. Whatever awaited his sons on Earth, he knew now it would change everything. Lika crouched in the shadows of Frisia's archives, her tail wrapped tightly around her waist to avoid detection. As one of the few female Saiyan elites, she'd used her strategic mind rather than brute force to rise through the ranks before the destruction of planet Vegeta. Now she served as Bardock faction's deepest cover agent, maintaining the persona of a loyal soldier who had been off-planet during Frisia's attack. She carefully inserted a data spike into the central computer terminal. The encryption was complex, but she'd been planning this infiltration for months. The master archives contained information on Frisia's future plans, fleet movements, and, most importantly, any intelligence on surviving Saiyan groups. Data extraction at 64%, the device silently displayed. Footsteps approached from the corridor outside. Lika tensed, preparing to either fight or bluff her way out. The door slid open to reveal a tall purple-skinned alien in cold army elite armor. "Soldier, what are you doing here?" he demanded. "This section is restricted to Intelligence Division personnel only." Lika straightened, affecting a casual pose while blocking view of the terminal. "Captain Chui assigned me to retrieve the Tarshan conquest reports, sir. He's preparing a briefing for Lord Frisia." The officer's eyes narrowed suspiciously. Chui doesn't have clearance to access archive data without approval from Commander Zarbon. Lika cursed internally. Perhaps I misunderstood the captain's instructions. I'll clarify with him immediately. She moved toward the door, but the officer blocked her path. "Your identification code, soldier." "Of course," Lika replied smoothly, reaching for her scouter as if to display her credentials. In one fluid motion, she instead fired a focused energy beam through the device, hitting the officer directly between the eyes. He collapsed without a sound. Lika quickly dragged the body behind a data storage unit, checking the extraction progress. 89%. She needed those files, but staying longer was increasingly dangerous. The terminal beeped as the extraction completed. Lika grabbed the data spike and moved swiftly to the door, listening for any approaching guards. The corridor was clear. She had just rounded the corner when alarms began blaring throughout the base. A security breach had been detected. Maintaining a calm pace that wouldn't attract attention, Lika joined a group of soldiers rushing toward their assigned emergency stations. "What's happening?" she asked a reptilian trooper running alongside her. "Unknown intruder in Section 7, he replied. "All personnel to battle stations." Lika smoothly diverted from the group at the next junction, heading toward the landing bay instead. Her pre-programmed attack pod would be ready for emergency departure, if she could reach it before the base went into lockdown. She rounded the final corner to the hangar and froze. Dodoria, Frisia's pink-skinned enforcer, stood by the entrance with a squad of elites. "Going somewhere, monkey?" Dodoria sneered, spotting her immediately. "Security flags showing an unauthorized data access traced to your credentials." Lika dropped all pretense of loyalty, settling into a fighting stance. "Took you long enough to notice. I've been stealing your secrets for years." Dodoria's scouter beeped as he measured her power level. Pathetic. Even for a Saiyan female. "Men, execute this spy." The squad moved to surround her. Lika knew she couldn't defeat them all, but she didn't need to, she just needed to reach her pod and launch the data to Bardock's ship before they killed her. The first soldier rushed her. Lika sidestepped with Saiyan speed, driving her fist through his armor and into his chest. Using his body as a shield, she fired key blasts at two more attackers, dropping them instantly. Impressive for a monkey, Dodoria admitted, stepping forward. But futile. Lika didn't waste breath responding. She gathered her energy and fired the most powerful attack she could muster directly at the ceiling above the squad. The blast tore through the metal, bringing down chunks of the structure and momentarily distracting her opponents. In that split second, Lika dashed for her pod, slammed the data spike into the console, and hit the emergency launch sequence. The pod's door began to close just as Dodoria fired a massive energy blast toward her. The impact rocked the pod, damaging the launch systems, but the main thrusters fired successfully. As the pod rocketed away from the base, Lika activated the emergency transmission protocol. The stolen data began uploading to Bardak's ship, encrypted and compressed. Blood dripped from a wound in her side where Dodoria's blast had partially penetrated the pod's hull. Lika knew she wouldn't survive to deliver the intelligence personally. With failing strength, she recorded a final message. Bardak, data shows Frisia hunting something called Dragon Balls on Earth. He believes they can grant immortality. Your son is in danger. The king knows this, that's why he wants Kakarot. Don't trust. A second blast from the base's defense cannon struck the pod, sending it tumbling out of control. Lika hit the final command, ensuring the transmission would complete even if the pod was destroyed. Her last thought before consciousness faded was of her people, scattered but surviving, and now, perhaps, with the information they needed to finally strike back against Frisia. Goku, now a teenager but still with the same carefree spirit, fished in the river near his small mountain home. Years had passed since Grandpa Gohan's death, but Goku had continued training and living off the land just as his grandfather had taught him. Gotcha, he exclaimed, plunging into the water and emerging with a massive fish larger than himself. This'll make a great lunch. As he carried his catch back toward his hut, Goku sensed something unusual. A strange feeling, like someone was watching him. He'd developed a keen awareness of his surroundings through years of training, but this was different. It felt familiar somehow. Dropping the fish, Goku scanned the forest alertly. Hello? Is somebody there? Nothing answered except the usual forest sounds, but the strange feeling persisted. Shrugging it off, Goku retrieved his fish and continued home. Probably just hungry, he thought. I'm always sensing food when my stomach's empty. Unknown to Goku, high in orbit above Earth, Raditz attack pod had just entered the planet's atmosphere. The long-haired Saiyan warrior studied the readouts on his console with growing interest. Power level readings are sparse on this planet, he muttered to himself. Most inhabitants barely register. But there. He focused the scouter on a particular reading. Power level 330. Not impressive by our standards, but far stronger than anything else on this mudball. Has to be Kakarot. The pod's computer calculated a landing trajectory to bring him close to the power signature. As the small spacecraft plummeted toward Earth, Raditz prepared himself for the reunion with his long-lost brother. Let's see what you've been up to all these years, little brother, he said with a smirk. And whether you're ready to join the real fight. Back at the Saiyan Resistance flagship, Bardock reviewed the emergency transmission from Lika's pod. His face grew increasingly grim as he processed the information. Dragon Balls, he repeated, studying the partial data files she'd managed to transmit before her signal was lost. Magical objects that can grant wishes, including immortality. Tora whistled. If Frisia got his hands on something like that. Game over, Bardock finished. But why wouldn't the king share this information? Why the deception about wanting Kakarot for Super Saiyan research? Maybe he doesn't trust us with the knowledge, Fascia suggested. The royal faction has always played things close. Or maybe, Bardock said slowly, he has his own plans for these Dragon Balls. Plans that don't include sharing power with the rest of us. The implications hung heavy in the command center. If King Vegeta obtained immortality for himself and Prince Vegeta alone, the power dynamic among the surviving Saiyans would be permanently altered. The royal family would rule forever. We need to warn Raditz, Tora said urgently. If Frisia's forces are also heading to Earth. Bardock shook his head. Long-range communications would be detected. We have to go ourselves. He stood, decision made. Prepare the ship for immediate departure to Earth. The king ordered a rendezvous in 30 days, Borgas reminded him. He'll see this as direct defiance. Better to ask forgiveness than permission, Bardock replied grimly. Especially when royalty is involved. Besides, my sons come first. As the crew rushed to prepare for the journey, Bardock pulled up the limited information they had on Earth. The planet seemed peaceful enough, no interstellar travel capabilities, no significant energy weapons, physically weak inhabitants. But something about it kept nagging at him. His visions had shown Kakarot transforming there. What was it about that planet that could trigger the legendary power that had eluded Saiyans for generations? Whatever it was, Bardock knew one thing for certain: the convergence of Saiyans, Frisia's forces, and these mysterious Dragon Balls on one previously insignificant planet couldn't be coincidence. Earth was about to become the flashpoint for a conflict that would determine the fate of the Saiyan race. Prince Vegeta paced impatiently in his father's strategy room aboard the royal flagship. The massive vessel, salvaged and repurposed from a conquered civilization years ago, served as the mobile throne world for the royal faction. We should be heading to Earth now, the prince insisted. Not waiting for that low-class Bardock to fetch his whelp. King Vegeta studied the holographic display showing troop movements throughout the quadrant. Patience, my son. Moving our entire fleet would draw Frisia's attention immediately. Better to let Bardock's faction scout ahead. And if they discover the Dragon Balls first? What then? The prince challenged. A thin smile crossed the king's face. They won't. I've only shared partial information with Bardock. Besides, I've taken additional precautions. The door slid open, and a massive Saiyan warrior entered. Built like a mountain, with a bald head and a bushy mustache, Nappa bowed before the royal pair. The advance team is ready, Your Majesty, he reported. 5 elite warriors, as you commanded. We can depart for Earth within the hour. Good, the king nodded. Your orders are simple: observe Bardock's son, assess his potential, and locate any information about these Dragon Balls without revealing your true purpose. Under no circumstances are you to engage Frisia's forces directly if they appear. And if Bardock's faction interferes? Nappa asked. The king's expression hardened. Remind them of the natural order. The royal faction leads, all others follow. Prince Vegeta stepped forward. Father, I should go with them. I'm stronger than any of these elites. You are also the heir to our throne and future, King Vegeta replied sharply. I will not risk you on a reconnaissance mission. How am I supposed to become a true leader if you keep me caged like a prized pet? The prince spat. Nappa and the other advisors tensed at the prince's insubordination, but King Vegeta merely regarded his son with cool assessment. Very well, he finally said. You may accompany Nappa's team to Earth. Consider it a test of your judgment as much as your strength. If these Dragon Balls are real, and if they can truly grant immortality, securing them for the royal line is your highest priority. Prince Vegeta smirked in triumph. I won't disappoint you, father. See that you don't. The king turned to Nappa. Watch over him. And remember, this mission requires stealth and intelligence, not just brute force. After Nappa and the prince left to prepare, one of the king's advisors approached cautiously. Your Majesty, are you certain it's wise to send the prince? If Frisia discovers his location. My son needs to learn leadership beyond the training room, King Vegeta replied. Besides, our intelligence suggests Frisia is currently occupied with a rebellion in the southern quadrant. By the time he turns his attention to Earth, we will already have secured what we need. The advisor bowed and withdrew, leaving King Vegeta alone with his thoughts. The king activated a private display, showing data their scientists had compiled on the Dragon Balls. 7 mystical spheres with the power to summon a dragon that granted wishes. It sounded like a child's fairy tale, yet the evidence was compelling enough that Frisia himself believed it. Immortality, the king murmured. The ultimate advantage against that tyrant. With such power, he could rebuild the Saiyan Empire to even greater heights than before, an eternal dynasty under his rule. A flashing alert interrupted his thoughts. One of their deep cover agents reported unusual movement from Bardock's flagship, a sudden change of course toward Earth, departing immediately instead of preparing for the arranged rendezvous. King Vegeta slammed his fist on the console. So much for loyalty. He opened a direct channel to Nappa's ship. Change of plans. Bardock's faction is heading to Earth ahead of schedule. Depart immediately and beat them there if possible. The race for Earth had begun. Goku sat cross-legged on a rock, his eyes closed in meditation as he had done countless times since Grandpa Gohan first taught him the technique. The forest around him hummed with life, birds calling, insects buzzing, small animals rustling through the underbrush. He had always felt connected to this peaceful mountain, but lately a strange restlessness had taken hold of him. Dreams of stars and distant worlds plagued his sleep. Sometimes he woke in a cold sweat, feeling an inexplicable anger that faded with the morning light. Grandpa Gohan had always warned him about controlling his emotions, especially around the full moon, though he'd never explained why, and Goku had always obeyed without question. A sudden shift in the atmosphere broke his concentration. Goku opened his eyes, looking up just in time to see a fiery object streaking across the sky. It wasn't a meteor, its trajectory was too controlled, too deliberate. Curiosity piqued, Goku leapt from his rock and dashed through the forest toward where the object seemed likely to land. Whatever it was, the distraction was welcome after days of the same training routines. Miles away, Raditz' pod crashed into an open field, carving a deep crater in the earth. Steam hissed from the spherical craft as its door slowly opened. The long-haired Saiyan emerged, stretching after the long journey in the cramped space. So this is Earth, he remarked, scanning the lush landscape. No wonder Kakarot hasn't bothered to conquer it. Too comfortable. His scouter beeped, detecting the same power level he'd picked up from orbit. There you are, Raditz grinned. And heading this way too. Curious little brother, aren't you? Raditz levitated out of the crater, deciding to wait for Kakarot to come to him. As he hovered, his scouter picked up several other readings nearby, weak ones, barely worth noticing, but moving toward his landing site as well. Locals, probably drawn by the crash. Might as well make a good first impression, he chuckled darkly. A group of farmers arrived first, approaching the crater with a mixture of fear and fascination. Their eyes widened in shock when they spotted Raditz floating above them. What the hell are you? One farmer demanded, raising a shotgun. Some kind of alien? Raditz smirked. Very perceptive for a creature with such limited brainpower. The farmer fired his weapon. Raditz caught the shell casually between two fingers, examining it with amusement before flicking it back at the man. The small projectile hit with enough force to knock the farmer unconscious without killing him. Anyone else want to welcome me to your planet? Raditz asked pleasantly. The remaining farmers fled in terror, shouting about invasions and demons. Raditz laughed, enjoying the moment. His first taste of Earth was proving entertaining, at least. His scouter beeped again, indicating Kakarot's power signature was now very close. Raditz turned toward the approaching energy, eager to finally meet his brother. Goku burst through the tree line, sliding to a stop at the edge of the crater. He stared first at the strange spherical ship, then up at the floating man with the impossibly long hair. Hey! Goku called. Did you come in that thing? Are you from space? Raditz lowered himself to the ground, studying the young man before him with growing confusion. This was definitely Kakarot, the resemblance to their father was unmistakable, but something was wrong. There was no recognition in his eyes, no sign he understood what he was, and most concerning of all. Where is your tail? Raditz demanded. Goku blinked in surprise. My tail? It got permanently removed years ago. Why? Did you have one too? Raditz's face darkened with anger. got removed? Do you have any idea what you've lost? The power of the Oozura form, gone. The what now? Goku scratched his head in confusion. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but that was a pretty cool entrance. Are you here for the martial arts tournament? I'm entering this year. Martial arts tournament? Raditz repeated incredulously. You think this is about some primitive combat sport? He stepped closer, his massive frame towering over Goku. Kakarot, do you truly remember nothing? About our people? Our mission? Goku took a defensive step back, his friendly expression turning serious. My name is Goku, not Kakarot. And I don't know you or any mission. If you're looking for someone else, I'm looking for you, little brother, Raditz cut in. Son of Bardock and Jine. A Saiyan warrior sent to this world as an infant. Goku froze. Brother? I don't have a brother. Grandpa Gohan found me in the woods when I was a baby. He raised me until he died. Because you were sent here in a pod just like that one, Raditz pointed to the crater. Your mission was to conquer this planet, but clearly something went wrong. Very wrong. He tapped his scouter. Your power level is impressive for this world but pathetic by Saiyan standards. And your memory. He circled Goku slowly. Did you ever suffer a serious head injury as a child? Goku's hand unconsciously touched a spot on his head. Grandpa said I fell into a ravine when I was really little. Almost died. That's when I stopped being violent and became me. Raditz's eyes widened in understanding. Brain damage. That explains everything. Your Saiyan programming was wiped clean. Look, I don't know what game you're playing, Goku said firmly, but I'm not this Kakarot person, and I'm definitely not an alien sent to conquer Earth. That's crazy talk. Is it? Raditz asked. Your unusual strength. Your appetite. The tail you once had. Did you ever transform under the full moon? Goku's expression changed subtly. Grandpa always told me to never look at the full moon. Said I'd turn into a monster. Not a monster. An Oozuru, the true form of a Saiyan warrior, Raditz explained. Our race transforms under the full moon, increasing our power tenfold. He sighed in frustration. Without your tail, that power is lost to you now. Goku's fighting instincts had been on alert since Raditz mentioned conquest. Something about this stranger felt dangerous, yet also strangely familiar. Even if what you're saying is true, and I'm not saying it is, what do you want from me? Raditz's expression grew serious. Our people need you, Kakarot. Planet Vegeta, our homeworld, was destroyed by a tyrant named Frieza. The surviving Saiyans have been fighting a guerrilla war against his empire for years. Our father sent me to bring you home, to join the fight for our people's survival. Goku blinked, trying to process this information. So you're saying my real father is alive? And he wants me to leave Earth to fight in some space war? Not just any war, Raditz insisted. Our very survival as a species hangs in the balance. Frieza fears our potential, the legend of the Super Saiyan that might arise to challenge him. That's why he tried to exterminate us. Despite his skepticism, Goku couldn't help feeling curious. Super Saiyan? What's that? Raditz smiled, sensing an opening. A transformation of legend. A Saiyan of extraordinary power whose strength is unmatched in the universe. With golden hair and the power to destroy worlds. And you think I could become this? Super Saiyan? Goku asked. Our father believes the potential exists in our bloodline, Raditz replied. But you'll never achieve it here, playing with weaklings on this peaceful world. You need proper Saiyan training, proper challenges. Goku frowned thoughtfully. The stranger's story was outlandish, yet something deep inside him resonated with it. The strange dreams, his inexplicable strength, the tale he'd been born with, could there be truth to this after all? I can't just leave Earth, Goku said finally. This is my home. My friends are here. Raditz' expression hardened. I didn't want to force this, brother, but time is short. Frisia's forces could be heading here as we speak, hunting something called Dragon Balls. Does that mean anything to you? Goku's eyes widened in shock. The Dragon Balls? How do you know about those? So they do exist, Raditz said with satisfaction. Mystical objects that grant wishes, including immortality. No wonder Frisia wants them. They're not toys, Goku warned. And they're protected. My friend Bulma and I have collected them before, then you know where they are. Raditz exclaimed. This changes everything. Kakarot, you must help us secure these Dragon Balls before Frisia gets them. With that power, we could restore our people, maybe even our planet. Goku studied his supposed brother carefully. The sincerity in Raditz's voice seemed genuine, but something still felt off. If I help you find the Dragon Balls, do I have your word you won't use them to hurt anyone? My mission is to protect our people, Raditz replied carefully. I can promise they won't be used for conquest, only survival. It wasn't quite the answer Goku wanted, but before he could press further, his acute senses detected new presences approaching, several of them, moving fast through the air. Someone's coming, Goku warned, dropping into a fighting stance. Raditz's scouter confirmed it. More power levels, stronger ones. Heading this way. His eyes narrowed. These readings are too high for Earth natives. Maybe they're your friends. Goku suggested. Or Frisia's scouts, Raditz countered grimly. Either way, we're about to have company. Across space, Bardock's ship pushed its engines to their limits, racing toward Earth. In the command center, the scarred warrior studied the latest intelligence reports with growing concern. Multiple ships converging on Earth, he noted. The royal faction moved faster than expected. Still no sign of Frisia's main fleet, Tora reported. But if Lika's information was accurate, they won't be far behind. Bardock nodded grimly. And we're still days away, even at maximum speed. He slammed his fist against the console. Raditz is on his own until we get there. He's your son, Fascia reminded him with a small smile. He's resourceful. And if Kakarot has even a fraction of your stubborn nature, they'll hold out. It's not just Frisia and the king I'm worried about, Bardock admitted. My visions about Earth have always been different. Something important happens there. Something that changes everything. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Bardock's prophetic abilities had saved their race once before. If he sensed danger now, it couldn't be dismissed. Full power to engines, Bardock ordered. And prepare all warriors for immediate combat upon arrival. Whatever's waiting for us on Earth, will need to be ready. As the ship accelerated toward the distant blue planet, Bardock closed his eyes, trying to force another vision, something clearer that might help him understand what awaited his sons. But the future remained stubbornly clouded, showing only fragments, a massive ape silhouetted against Earth's moon, a gathering of warriors from different factions, and again, that image of a golden-haired fighter radiating unimaginable power. The legendary Super Saiyan. After a lifetime of dismissing it as myth, Bardock now found himself hoping the legend was real, and that it might be enough to save them all from what was coming. 5 attack pods streaked through Earth's atmosphere, their entry creating brilliant trails visible for hundreds of miles. Inside the lead pod, Prince Vegeta smirked as his scouter detected the power signatures below. Raditz has already found his brother, he observed. And it seems they have company. Earthlings, perhaps. Nappa's voice came through the communication system. Orders, Prince Vegeta. Standard conquest protocol. No, Vegeta replied sharply. We observe first. Remember why we're here, the Dragon Balls and the potential of Bardock's son. As you wish, Nappa acknowledged, though disappointment was evident in his tone. The massive Saiyan had been hoping for some action after the long journey. As their pods approached the landing zone, Vegeta studied the readings more carefully. Something wasn't right. The power levels gathering near Raditz' position were too high for a primitive world like Earth. Either the planet harbored unusually strong fighters, or... Change course, Vegeta commanded suddenly. Land 2 kilometers east of the current gathering. We'll approach on foot and assess the situation before revealing ourselves. The pods adjusted their trajectory, impacting in a remote area away from the building confrontation. Prince Vegeta emerged first, his compact but muscular form casting a long shadow in the Earth's sunlight. Nappa and 3 elite Saiyan warriors followed, all wearing the distinctive armor of the royal faction. Primitive world, one elite commented, looking around at the forests and mountains. Focus, Vegeta snapped. Mask your power levels. We move quietly until we understand what we're dealing with. The Saiyans took to the air, flying low and fast toward the gathering power signatures. As they approached, Vegeta signaled for the group to stop and observe from a concealed position in the hills overlooking a wide clearing. Below, Raditz stood beside a younger Saiyan who could only be Kakarot, facing off against 3 figures who had just landed. Vegeta's eyes narrowed as he recognized them immediately, not Earthlings, but soldiers from Frisia's elite forces. Chui and his squad, Vegeta whispered. Frisia moves faster than we anticipated. Should we engage? Nappa asked eagerly. Not yet, Vegeta replied. Let's see how Bardock's sons handle themselves first. It will be informative. In the clearing below, Raditz stepped protectively in front of Goku as the 3 aliens approached. Well, the purple-skinned leader sneered. If it isn't the Monkey Prince's little pet scout. Raditz, isn't it? Still running errands for your betters? Chui, Raditz growled. Frisia's favorite bootlicker. What brings you to this backwater? Chui laughed, his scouter blinking as he assessed the 2 Saiyans. As if you didn't know. Lord Frisia sends his regards, and his thanks for leading us straight to the Dragon Balls. Goku glanced at Raditz with suspicion. You were followed? Impossible, Raditz insisted. I took every precaution. Not enough, Chui smirked. We've been tracking your communications for months. Sloppy work after that female spy of yours was eliminated. Raditz's face darkened at the mention of Lika, but he maintained his composure. If you want the Dragon Balls, you'll have to go through us first. That won't take long, Chui laughed, pressing his scouter. Power level 1200 for you, and only 330 for your little friend? Is this the fearsome brother you came to recruit? Pathetic. Goku stepped forward, his eyes hardening. You know, I'm still not sure I believe all this alien stuff, but I definitely don't like your attitude. The Earthling speaks. Chui mocked. Tell me, Primitive, do you have any idea what you're dealing with? I could destroy this entire area with a flick of my finger. From their hidden vantage point, Prince Vegeta watched the exchange with growing interest. The fool Chui is underestimating them. Kakarot is suppressing his true power, a technique he must have learned on Earth. Interesting. Back in the clearing, Goku settled into a fighting stance unlike anything Raditz had seen before. Last chance to leave peacefully, Goku warned Chui and his men. I don't want to hurt you, but I will defend my planet. All 3 of Frisia's soldiers burst into laughter. Did you hear that? Chui gasped between fits of mirth. The monkey wants to defend his adopted home. How touching. Raditz looked at his brother with concern. Kakarot, these aren't opponents you can handle. Their power levels don't tell the whole story, Goku interrupted calmly. Something I learned here on Earth. Chui's patience ended. Enough talk. Lord Frisia wants the Dragon Balls and information on any surviving Saiyans. You two will provide both, willing or not. He nodded to his companions. Take them. The 2 alien soldiers lunged forward with surprising speed. Raditz braced for impact, but before he could counter, Goku had vanished from beside him, reappearing between the attackers. What the? One soldier managed before Goku's fist connected with his abdomen, doubling him over. The second soldier fired an energy blast point-blank at Goku's face. With reflexes that shocked even Raditz, Goku tilted his head just enough for the blast to miss, then countered with a sweeping kick that sent the alien flying. Chui's scouter beeped frantically. Impossible. His power level just jumped to over 900. Raditz stared in astonishment as his supposedly weak brother handled elite soldiers with ease. The fighting style was unlike anything he'd seen, efficient, precise, with no wasted movement. Not the raw, aggressive technique of a Saiyan, but something equally effective. Still want to do this the hard way? Goku asked Chui, his voice steady as both soldiers struggled to rise. Chui's shock turned to rage. A clever trick, monkey. But let's see how you handle a real warrior. He charged forward, his power level spiking as he launched a barrage of punches and kicks. Goku blocked and dodged with increasing difficulty. Chui was significantly stronger and faster than his men. A punch broke through Goku's guard, sending him skidding backward. Kakarot. Raditz shouted, moving to intervene. Stay back. Goku called, wiping blood from his lip. I can handle this. Something changed in Goku's demeanor. His casual confidence shifted to intense focus. As Chui attacked again, Goku stopped retreating and met the alien head-on. Their exchange of blows created shockwaves that cracked the ground beneath them. From the hillside, Vegeta's eyes widened as his scouter registered the fluctuating power. Impossible. He's still increasing his strength. No formal training, and yet he adapts mid-battle. Nappa grunted in surprise. Is this what you expected, Prince Vegeta? No, Vegeta admitted. This is far more interesting than anticipated. In the clearing, Goku and Chui broke apart, both breathing heavily. Chui's confidence had vanished, replaced by cautious reassessment. Impressive for an untrained monkey, Chui conceded. But playtime is over. He raised his hand, forming an energy ball that grew rapidly. Let's see how you handle this. The massive energy blast rocketed toward Goku, who stood his ground. At the last moment, he cupped his hands at his side. Ka, me, ha, me. Ha. Goku thrust his palms forward, releasing a brilliant blue beam that collided with Chui's attack. The energies struggled against each other, creating a blinding light at their intersection. For a moment they seemed evenly matched, but then Goku's beam began pushing Chui's attack back. Impossible. Chui screamed as his own attack was overwhelmed. He barely managed to dodge as the Kamehameha wave shot past him, obliterating a distant mountain. Raditz stood transfixed. The raw power of the energy technique was impressive, but more shocking was seeing his brother, who supposedly had no knowledge of his heritage, fighting like a true Saiyan warrior when pushed. Chui regrouped with his soldiers, all three now regarding the brothers with wary respect. This changes nothing, Chui snarled. Lord Frieza is already on his way to Earth. You've merely ensured your deaths will be more painful when he arrives. You're welcome to wait around for him, Goku replied coolly, but I suggest you leave now while you can. Chui's face contorted with rage, but before he could respond, his scouter beeped with an incoming transmission. After listening for a moment, his expression changed to one of smug satisfaction. It seems we don't need to fight after all, Chui announced. Our reinforcements have located the Dragon Balls, or at least, devices that can find them. A blue-haired female scientist was most cooperative after some persuasion. Bulma. Goku's calm demeanor shattered. What have you done to her? Nothing permanent. Yet. Chui smiled cruelly. Deliver yourselves to these coordinates within 3 hours, or we'll start sending her back in pieces. He tossed a small device to Raditz. The tracking beacon will guide you. Don't be late. With a final mocking salute, Chui and his men blasted into the sky, heading east. Goku immediately turned to Raditz, anger evident in his usually gentle features. They have my friend because of you. Because you brought this war to Earth. Kakarot, we don't have time for blame, Raditz countered. If they have your friend and technology to locate the Dragon Balls, we need to act quickly. I'm going after them, Goku declared. With or without you. That's exactly what they want. Raditz grabbed his brother's arm. It's a trap. I don't care. Bulma's innocent in all this. I won't abandon her. From their observation point, Prince Vegeta had seen and heard enough. This development complicates matters, he told his squad. Chui's reinforcements must have landed elsewhere while we were focused here. Clever. Orders, my prince? Nappa asked. Vegeta stood, dusting off his armor. We follow them. These Dragon Ball detectors would be useful, and I want to see how Bardock's sons handle a real crisis. Should we reveal ourselves? One of the elites questioned. Not yet, Vegeta decided. Let's see how this plays out first. If Bardock's younger son is as promising as he appears, he may be worth recruiting to the royal faction. Back in the clearing, Goku checked the tracking device Chui had thrown them. They're heading toward West City. That's where Bulma's family lives, they must have tracked her there. Kakarot, listen to me, Raditz insisted. I understand your concern for your friend, but rushing in without a plan is suicide. Chui is stronger than both of us. You saw what I did to him, Goku countered. You surprised him. He won't underestimate you twice. Raditz paced anxiously. We need help. Goku's expression brightened. You're right. I know exactly who can help us. More Earthlings? Raditz asked skeptically. Friends who are strong enough to make a difference, Goku assured him. And they're a lot closer than your Saiyan allies. Raditz hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. Fine. We'll try it your way first. But I warn you, brother, Frisia's forces don't show mercy, and neither should we when the time comes. Goku's face grew serious. I don't want to kill anyone, Raditz. But I'll do whatever it takes to save my friends and protect my home. He paused, then added quietly, even if that home isn't where I was born. For the first time since landing on Earth, Raditz felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps his brother wasn't the soft-hearted fool he'd initially thought. There was a warrior's spirit there after all, tempered by Earth's peaceful influence, but still unmistakably Saiyan. Let's go then, Raditz agreed. Show me these friends of yours. As the brothers took to the sky, heading west, the hidden Saiyan royals followed at a discreet distance. Unknown to any of them, other eyes were watching as well. From orbit, Frisia's advanced scout ship had already begun its descent toward Earth, bringing with it a threat greater than any the peaceful planet had ever known. The battle for Earth, and the future of the Saiyan race, was about to begin in earnest. Chapter 2, Gathering Storm. You want me to what? Krillin's eyes nearly popped out of his head as he stared at the towering Saiyan standing next to Goku. Goku had brought Raditz to Kame House, where Master Roshi, Krillin, and Yamcha had been relaxing on what had started as a perfectly normal day. That normalcy had evaporated the moment Goku landed with his nearly 7-foot-tall, armor-clad, brother, and launched into an explanation that sounded like the plot of a bad science fiction movie. I know it's a lot to take in, Goku said, rubbing the back of his head. But it's all true. I'm not from Earth. I'm this alien called a Saiyan, and Raditz here is my brother, and there's this evil space emperor named Frisia who's after the Dragon Balls, and they've got Bulma, and, slow down, Goku. Master Roshi interrupted, adjusting his sunglasses. One bombshell at a time. Raditz crossed his arms, impatience rolling off him in waves. We don't have time for this. Chui gave us 3 hours, and we've wasted 30 minutes already. Look, tall, dark, and scary, Yamcha said, stepping forward despite visibly trying to control his fear. You can't just show up and expect us to believe all this without proof. Raditz' eye twitched. Proof? Your friend just shot an energy beam that destroyed a mountain. He's 3 times stronger than any human has a right to be. What more proof do you need? Goku's always been special, Krillin said defensively. That doesn't make him an alien. The tail, Master Roshi interjected quietly. All eyes turned to the old martial arts master. When I first met Goku as a boy, he had a tail. I've seen what happens when he looks at the full moon. The old man's normally jovial face was deadly serious. I suspected you weren't entirely human, Goku, but I never imagined this. Goku's eyes widened. You knew, Master Roshi. About me transforming into a giant monkey, yes. Roshi nodded solemnly. Your grandfather Gohan told me about it before he died. It's why he warned you never to look at the full moon. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. The Oozuru form, Raditz explained, a hint of pride in his voice. All Saiyans with tails transform under a full moon. Our power increases tenfold. That, actually explains a lot, Krillin admitted, looking at his best friend with new eyes. Goku stared at his hands, his identity shifting beneath him like quicksand. So Grandpa Gohan wasn't really my grandfather. And everything about me, my strength, my love of fighting, it's all because I'm a Saiyan warrior, Raditz finished. The blood of the greatest fighting race in the universe flows through your veins, Kakarot. His name is Goku, Yamcha insisted. His name is whatever he chooses it to be, Raditz countered sharply. But we're wasting precious time. Frieza's men have your blue-haired friend, and the clock is ticking. That snapped Goku back to the present crisis. He's right. Bulma's in danger, and that's what matters now. Questions about who I am can wait. He looked at his friends determinedly. I need your help. All of you. Krillin stepped forward without hesitation. You know I'm in, Goku. Alien or not, you're still my best friend. Count me in too, Yamcha added. Bulma and I may not be together anymore, but I'd never leave her in danger. Master Roshi stood, cracking his back. These old bones might not be what they used to be, but I've got a few tricks left. Besides, someone needs to make sure you youngsters don't get yourselves killed. Goku grinned, relief washing over his face. Thanks, guys. I knew I could count on you. Raditz looked distinctly unimpressed. These are your mighty warriors. An old man and 2 humans who barely register on my scouter. He snorted. We'd be better off on our own. Don't underestimate them, Goku warned. Power levels don't tell the whole story. Master Roshi taught me everything I know about martial arts, and Krillin and Yamcha are stronger than they look. Before Raditz could respond, the front door burst open. A green-skinned figure with antennae and a white cape stood in the doorway, his expression grim. Piccolo! Goku exclaimed, surprised. Don't look so shocked, Goku, Piccolo growled. I sensed the power spike when you fought those aliens. Then I felt you gathering your friends. His eyes narrowed at Raditz. I take it this is the beginning of the invasion. Raditz's scouter beeped as he assessed Piccolo. Power level 322. Not bad for a Namekian. Far from home, aren't you? Piccolo's eyes widened slightly. You know what I am. Saiyans have conquered worlds throughout the galaxy. We recognize most species, Raditz explained. Namekians are known for their regenerative abilities and mystical powers. Useful traits in battle. I'm not here to be useful to you, Piccolo snarled. I'm here because if Frieza wants the Dragon Balls, that puts the entire planet at risk, including the Parts 1 plan to conquer myself someday. Goku stepped between them. The enemy of my enemy, right, Piccolo? For now, Piccolo agreed reluctantly. Don't expect me to save you if things go south. Wouldn't dream of it, Goku replied with a cheeky grin. Raditz checked the tracking device. Enough reunion chatter. We have 2 hours left to reach West City and formulate a plan. He turned to Goku. Any more friends you want to collect, or can we actually get moving? Just one, Goku said. And he's already on his way. From their monitoring position high above West City, Prince Vegeta and Nappa watched as Chui's forces established a perimeter around Capsule Corporation headquarters. Primitive technology, but surprisingly advanced for such a backwater, Vegeta commented, studying the dome-shaped buildings through high-powered binoculars. I see why they targeted this facility first. How many of Frisia's men do you count, my prince? Nappa asked. 24 visible troops, plus Chui and his lieutenants. Vegeta lowered the binoculars. Standard occupation protocol. They're not expecting serious resistance. One of the elite Saiyans approached. Prince Vegeta, our scouts report that Bardock's son is gathering fighters. They're heading this way. Already? Vegeta raised an eyebrow. Perhaps there's more to this, Goku, than I thought. What about the Dragon Balls? According to intercepted communications, Frisia's forces have devices that can locate them, but they haven't collected any yet. They seem to be using the female scientist as leverage. Vegeta smirked. Chui always did prefer the easy approach. It makes him predictable. He turned to his team. Change of plans. We'll let Kakarot and his group engage Frisia's forces directly. During the chaos, we'll infiltrate the building and secure both the woman and the Dragon Ball detectors. And if Kakarot and Raditz spot us, one elite asked. We tell them exactly what they want to hear, that we're allies against Frisia, Vegeta replied. For now, that's even true. But remember, the Dragon Balls belong to the royal family. Is that understood? Yes, my prince, the Saiyans responded in unison. Inside Capsule Corporation, Bulma Brief sat handcuffed to a chair in her own laboratory, glaring daggers at Chui as he examined a spherical device with obvious interest. Remarkable, Chui mused. Such a simple design, yet it can detect energy signatures across an entire planet. He held up the Dragon radar. Your cooperation has been most valuable, Dr. Briefs. Go to hell, Bulma spat. The second Goku gets here, you're all dead meat. Chui laughed. Ah yes, your Saiyan friend. I've already had the pleasure of meeting him. He leaned close to her face. Impressive for a monkey raised by primitives, but no match for Lord Frisia. He'll be joining us soon enough, him and his brother. Bulma's eyes widened. Brother? Goku doesn't have a brother. Oh. He didn't know. Chui seemed genuinely amused. How delightful. The poor fool has been living a lie his entire life. He paced around the laboratory, examining various inventions. I wonder what other surprises this little planet holds. The lab door slid open as one of Chui's lieutenants entered. Commander, we're detecting multiple power signatures approaching from the east. One matches the Saiyan from earlier. Right on schedule, Chui nodded. Deploy the welcoming committee. I want them worn down before they reach the main building. As the lieutenant left, Bulma allowed herself a small smile. Goku was coming, and knowing him, he wouldn't be alone. You look awfully confident for a hostage, Chui observed. Just wondering which body part you'll lose first when my friends get here, Bulma replied sweetly. Chui's smile vanished. For your sake, woman, pray that your friends surrender without a fight. Lord Frisia wants the Dragon Balls and the Saiyans alive. He activated his scouter. Cumber, report to the laboratory immediately. I need additional security. Moments later, the door opened again. Bulma gasped as a massive figure entered, clearly not human, but not like the other aliens either. He wore similar armor to Chui's forces, but his features were unmistakably more similar to Goku's: wild black hair, a powerful muscular build, and a brown furry belt that Bulma realized with a shock was actually a tail wrapped around his waist. "You called for me, Commander?" Cumber asked, his deep voice carrying a formal tone. "Guard the human," Chui ordered. "I'm taking the detection device to begin locating the Dragon Balls. Kill her if anyone unauthorized enters, but only if they can't be captured alive." Cumber saluted. "Understood, Commander." After Chui left, an uncomfortable silence fell over the laboratory. Bulma studied her new guard carefully. Unlike Chui's cruel demeanor, this alien's face seemed almost neutral, professional. "So," she ventured, "you're like Goku, aren't you? A Saiyan?" Cumber's eyes flicked toward her, surprise evident. "You know of Saiyans?" "Only what I've pieced together today," Bulma admitted. "But I'm a quick study. Plus, the tail is kind of a giveaway." Cumber's expression remained neutral, but he shifted slightly. "I serve Lord Frieza loyally. Unlike the rebels and traitors of my race. Even though he tried to wipe out your entire species?" Bulma challenged. A muscle twitched in Cumber's jaw. The rebellion forced his hand. "Lord Frieza offers protection and purpose to those who serve faithfully." "Sounds like something an abuse victim would say about their abuser," Bulma remarked. Cumber stepped closer, looming over her. "Watch your tongue, human. My orders are to keep you alive if possible, but accidents happen." Bulma met his gaze unflinchingly. "If you were going to hurt me, you would have done it already. You're not like Chui." For a brief moment, something flashed in Cumber's eyes, doubt, perhaps, or recognition. But his professional mask returned quickly. "Be silent. Your friends will be here soon enough, and then your fate will be decided." Outside Capsule Corp, Goku's assembled team crouched behind a cluster of buildings, assessing the situation. The group had grown to include not only Raditz, Krillin, Yamcha, Master Roshi, and Piccolo, but also Tien Shinhan and Kaiotsu, who had responded to Goku's mental call through their shared connection with Kami. "I count at least 20 guards," Tien reported, his third eye giving him enhanced perception. "They've got the main entrance locked down tight." "Any sign of Bulma?" Goku asked. Tien shook his head. "Most likely being held inside." Raditz studied the compound with growing respect for the Earth fighters. Despite their relatively low power levels, they operated with the coordination and discipline of veteran warriors. "Their scouters will detect us the moment we make a move," Raditz warned. "We need to strike fast and hard, no holding back." "We're not killing anyone if we can help it," Goku insisted. "These soldiers are just following orders." Raditz scoffed. "This isn't one of your Earth tournaments, Kakarot. This is war." "Goku's right," Krillin interjected. "If we start killing, we're no better than they are." "If we don't, we're dead," Piccolo countered coldly. "I'm with the Saiyan on this. Hesitation will get us killed." Before the argument could escalate, Master Roshi raised a hand. "We each fight our own way. The priority is rescuing Bulma and stopping Frieza from getting the Dragon Balls." "Agreed," Goku nodded. "Here's the plan, Tien, Kaiotsu, and Yamcha, you create a distraction at the main entrance. Make it loud, make it flashy. The solar flare technique could blind their scouters temporarily," Tien suggested. "Perfect," Goku continued. "While they're focused on you, Krillin, Master Roshi, and I will infiltrate through the East Wing. Bulma showed me a service entrance there once." "What about us?" Raditz asked, gesturing to himself and Piccolo. "You two are our heavy hitters," Goku explained. "Once we're inside, we'll need you to engage Chui and any elite fighters while we find Bulma." Piccolo raised an eyebrow. "You're putting me with him?" "You're both strong, and you both have a stake in this fight," Goku said simply. "Figure it out." Raditz smirked. "Not bad, brother. Maybe you've got some tactical sense after all." "I've been in a few fights," Goku replied with a modest shrug. Everyone clear on the plan? Krillin asked. When all nodded, he grinned nervously. Then let's go save Bulma and stop an alien invasion. Just another Tuesday, right? Move out. Goku ordered. The team split up, each group heading toward their designated positions. As they prepared to launch their assault, none of them noticed the 5 shadows moving swiftly across the rooftops of West City, the Royal Saiyan faction, executing their own parallel operation. On the opposite side of the Capsule Corp complex, Prince Vegeta signaled his team forward. They moved with practiced efficiency, avoiding detection by Frieza's forces through a combination of suppressed power levels and tactical positioning. Remember, Vegeta whispered, our priority is the Dragon Ball detection technology and any information about the balls themselves. The woman is secondary, useful if we can extract her cleanly, expendable if we can't. Nappa nodded, though he looked eager for combat rather than stealth. What if we encounter Bardock's sons? We present ourselves as allies, Vegeta replied. The enemy of our enemy and all that political nonsense. One of the elite Saiyans pointed to the main entrance, where a sudden commotion had erupted. Brilliant flashes of light illuminated the area as Tien, Kaiotsu, and Yamcha engaged Frieza's guards. That's our cue, Vegeta smirked. While they're occupied with the frontal assault, we slip in through the back. Classic diversion tactic, not bad for Earthlings and low-class Saiyans. The royal team scaled the wall with ease, entering through a maintenance hatch on the roof. Inside, they quickly dispatched 2 guards with silent efficiency, hiding the bodies in a storage closet. Split up, Vegeta ordered. Find the laboratory where they're keeping the woman and the technology. Stay in communication and avoid detection if possible. As his team dispersed, Vegeta moved through the corridors with predatory grace. His scouter detected numerous power signatures throughout the building, some belonging to Frieza's men, others unfamiliar, likely Earthlings. But one signature in particular caught his attention, a Saiyan power level where there shouldn't be one. Interesting, Vegeta murmured, changing course to investigate. Tien, Yamcha, and Kaiotsu's distraction worked perfectly, perhaps too perfectly. What started as a controlled diversion quickly escalated into a full-blown battle as Frieza's forces responded with unexpected ferocity. There's too many of them. Yamcha shouted, dodging energy blasts while countering with his Wolf Fang fist technique. The signature attack tore through 2 alien soldiers, sending them crashing into a wall. Keep fighting. Tien called back, his hands forming a triangular shape. Try Beam HA. The powerful energy attack cleared a path through the enemy ranks, but more soldiers poured out of the building to replace them. Kaiotsu used his telekinetic abilities to hurl debris at their attackers, buying his friends precious seconds to reposition. Tien. Behind you. Tien spun just in time to block a powerful punch from a reptilian soldier. The impact sent him sliding backward, but he recovered quickly. These guys are stronger than they look. Inside the building, Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi had successfully infiltrated through the service entrance. They moved swiftly through the corridors, avoiding patrols when possible and neutralizing them when necessary. Bulma's lab should be 2 floors up, Goku whispered, leading the way. That's where they'd most likely keep her. Let's hope the others can keep the heat off us long enough, Krillin replied, nervously glancing back the way they'd come. As they rounded a corner, they nearly collided with a squad of Frieza soldiers. Intruders, the lead alien shouted, raising his arm-mounted energy weapon. So much for stealth, Master Roshi sighed, suddenly dropping his hunched posture. The old master's body bulked up dramatically as he accessed his full power. Stand back, boys. With speed belying his age, Roshi launched himself at the soldiers. His hands moved in a blur, striking pressure points and vital areas with pinpoint precision. 3 aliens dropped before the others could even react. Whoa! Go, Master Roshi! Krillin cheered. Less admiring, more fighting. Roshi barked back, already engaging the next opponent. Goku and Krillin jumped into the fray. Despite being outnumbered, the Earth fighters' superior technique quickly gave them the advantage. Goku moved like water between the soldiers, his strikes landing with devastating effect while seeming almost effortless. "Remember, we need one conscious," Goku called out, dropping an alien with a chop to the neck. "We need information." Krillin nodded, driving his knee into a soldier's solar plexus before spinning to face the last standing enemy. "This one's all yours, Goku." Goku grabbed the trembling alien by his armor. "Where are they keeping the human woman?" "A main laboratory, 3rd floor," the soldier stammered. "But you'll never get to her, Commander Chui has his best men guarding her, including a Saiyan." Goku's eyes widened. A Saiyan? Working for Frieza? Before he could extract more information, the wall beside them exploded inward. Through the dust stepped Raditz and Piccolo, both looking battle-worn but satisfied. "The frontal defense is neutralized," Piccolo reported. "Your friends are holding their own, but reinforcements are coming." Raditz noticed the captured soldier. "What's this about a Saiyan working for Frieza?" "Guarding Bulma, apparently," Goku explained. "In the main lab on the 3rd floor." Raditz's expression darkened. There were rumors of a few loyalists who continued serving Frieza after planet Vegeta's destruction. Traitors to their own kind. "Whoever he is, he's just another obstacle," Piccolo growled. "Let's move." As they headed for the stairs, Goku felt a strange sensation, a powerful energy signature moving through the building. It felt Saiyan, but different from Raditz, somehow more refined yet more volatile. "Raditz," Goku said quietly, "we're not alone. There's another Saiyan here, besides the one guarding Bulma." Raditz focused, then cursed under his breath. "That's impossible. None of our factions should be here yet." "Well, someone didn't get the memo," Krillin muttered nervously. In the main laboratory, Kumba remained at his post guarding Bulma. The sounds of battle echoed through the building, growing closer by the minute. "Your friends fight well," Kumba observed, breaking the long silence. "Told you," Bulma replied, working subtly at her restraints. She'd managed to loosen them slightly using a small tool hidden in her sleeve. "Goku's the best fighter on Earth. Your boss made a big mistake taking me hostage." Kumba's scouter beeped continuously as it tracked the ongoing battles. "Their power levels are unusual. Fluctuating beyond normal parameters. Earth fighters don't rely on those stupid eye gadgets," Bulma explained. "They can raise and lower their power at will. Something you Saiyans should probably learn." Kumba regarded her with newfound curiosity. "You know much for a primitive. And you talk pretty respectfully for a supposed evil alien invader," Bulma countered. Before Kumba could respond, the laboratory door slid open. Both turned, expecting Chui or one of his lieutenants. Instead, a short, flame-haired figure in Saiyan armor stood in the doorway, arms crossed and a smirk on his face. Well, Prince Vegeta drawled. "Kumba, isn't it? One of the few Saiyans who chose to remain Frieza's lapdog after he tried to exterminate our race. How loyal." Kumba immediately dropped to one knee. "Prince Vegeta. I thought you were dead." "Clearly," Vegeta replied dryly. "Along with the rest of our race? How convenient for your master." Bulma looked between the two Saiyans in confusion. "Prince? There's Saiyan royalty now?" Vegeta glanced at her dismissively before returning his attention to Kumba. "Stand up. I'd rather not kill you while you're groveling, it lacks dignity." Kumba rose slowly, conflict evident in his features. "My prince, I serve Frieza, but my loyalty to the royal bloodline remains. Please understand, after the planet's destruction, I believed survival meant submission. While the rest of us chose to fight," Vegeta countered coldly. "To rebuild. To plan our revenge. I didn't know." Kumba protested. Frieza told us any surviving Saiyans were rebels and traitors. He said you and the king were dead. Vegeta studied the larger Saiyan carefully. And now that you see otherwise, where does your loyalty lie, Cumber? Before Cumber could answer, another voice cut through the tension. I'd like to know that too. All three turned to see Goku standing in the doorway, flanked by Raditz, Piccolo, Krillin, and Master Roshi. Kakarot, Raditz breathed, eyes fixed on Vegeta. That's Prince Vegeta. Goku stepped forward, his normally friendly face set in determined lines. I don't care if he's the king of the universe. Bulma, are you okay? I'm fine, Goku, Bulma assured him. Just getting to know my captors. Apparently there's a whole soap opera happening with these Saiyans. Vegeta's eyes narrowed as he assessed Goku. So you're Bardock's younger son. The one raised on Earth. His scouter beeped as he measured Goku's power level. Unimpressive at first glance, but there's something unusual about your energy. Let Bulma go, Goku demanded, ignoring the commentary. This is between us Saiyans and Frieza. I don't take orders from low-class warriors, Vegeta replied smoothly. But as it happens, releasing the woman aligns with my interests. He turned to Cumber. Cut her free. Cumber hesitated, caught between his prince's command and Frieza's orders. That wasn't a suggestion, Vegeta said dangerously, his power level spiking enough to make the scouters beep in warning. Moving carefully, Cumber approached Bulma and severed her restraints with a small energy blade. Thanks, big guy, Bulma said, rubbing her wrists as she stood. I knew you weren't all bad. She hurried over to Goku and the others. We need to get out of here. They've got the dragon radar, and Chui's already hunting for the Dragon Balls. Woman, Vegeta interrupted, what exactly is this, dragon radar? None of your business, short stuff, Bulma retorted. Vegeta's eye twitched at the disrespect, but before he could respond, the entire building shook violently. What the hell was that? Krillin exclaimed. Cumber checked his scouter. New power signatures, 5 of them, all over 10,000. Raditz paled. It can't be. Another explosion rocked the foundation. Through the laboratory windows, they could see 5 colorful contrails streaking across the sky, performing elaborate aerial maneuvers before landing in perfect formation in the Capsule Corp courtyard. No, Raditz groaned. Not them. Who? Goku asked, moving to the window. The Ginyu Force, Vegeta snarled. Frieza's elite combat team. This just got considerably more complicated. Outside in the courtyard, 5 flamboyant warriors struck synchronized poses as the dust settled around them. At their center stood a purple-skinned, horned alien who appeared to be their leader. Ginyu Force, they shouted in unison, completing their choreographed routine with a final dramatic pose. Chui emerged from the building, looking both relieved and anxious. Captain Ginyu. We weren't expecting you so soon. Captain Ginyu straightened, flipping his cape dramatically. Lord Frieza grew impatient waiting for updates. He sent us to expedite the Dragon Ball retrieval. His red eyes narrowed. I trust you have the situation under control. Chui swallowed nervously. Of course. We've captured a detection device and are preparing to locate the Dragon Balls. There was a minor disturbance with some local fighters, but nothing, minor, interrupted a massive orange alien with white hair. Then why are half your men unconscious? Jeez is right, added a small, green, 4-eyed alien. Looks like you've got a full-scale rebellion on your hands. Guldo, Jeez, enough, Jinyu commanded. Rikum, Birder, secure the perimeter. We'll sort out Chui's mess. The largest member of the force, a hulking, red-haired humanoid, cracked his knuckles eagerly. On it, Captain. Rikum is ready for action. No one outpaces Birder, the fastest in the universe, declared a tall blue reptilian, disappearing in a blur of speed. Inside the laboratory, the assembled fighters watched the Jinyu force's arrival with varying degrees of concern. "We need to leave now," Vegeta declared. "The Jinyu force is beyond any of you, even combined." "We can't just run," Goku protested. "They'll get the Dragon Balls." "Better than them getting us," Raditz argued. "Kakarot, trust me on this. We need to regroup." Cumber stepped forward. "Prince Vegeta, I request permission to join your faction. I now see the truth of Frieza's deception." Vegeta regarded him skeptically. "Convenient timing. I can provide valuable intelligence," Cumber insisted. "Frieza's ship will arrive within 48 hours. The Jinyu force is just the advance team." "He's telling the truth," Bulma interjected. "I overheard Chui's communications. Frieza himself is coming." Vegeta considered this, then nodded curtly. "Very well, Cumber. But know that if I detect even a hint of treachery, your death will be exceedingly unpleasant." Another explosion shook the building, closer this time. "They're coming up," Krillin warned. "This way," Bulma said, running to a wall panel and pressing a hidden button. A section of the laboratory wall slid open, revealing a secret passage. Emergency escape route. Dad built them into every lab after the Red Ribbon Army incident. "Clever humans," Vegeta remarked, genuinely surprised. "What about Tien, Yamcha, and Kaiotsu?" Goku asked. "We'll have to hope they can escape on their own," Master Roshi replied grimly. "We can't help them if we're captured too." Goku hesitated, clearly torn. "Go," Piccolo ordered, stepping away from the group. "I'll hold them off and create a diversion. I'm the most expendable one here." "Piccolo." Goku began. "Save it," Piccolo cut him off. "Just make sure you defeat Frieza, or I'll never forgive you." A rare smirk crossed his green features. "Besides, Namekians are hard to kill. I'll catch up." Before anyone could argue further, Piccolo blasted a hole through the outer wall and flew into the courtyard, directly confronting the Jinyu force. "Let's go," Raditz urged, pulling Goku toward the escape passage. The group filed quickly through the hidden tunnel, which led to an underground hangar filled with various vehicles. "Everyone in the airship," Bulma commanded, rushing toward a sleek craft. "It's my newest design, fast and with basic stealth capabilities." As they boarded, the sounds of battle echoed from above. Goku paused at the entrance ramp, looking back. "They're fighting for us," he said quietly. "Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, Kaiotsu. And they chose to," Raditz reminded him. "That's what allies do in war, brother. Sometimes some must fall so others can continue the fight." Goku's fists clenched. "I'm not leaving them." Before anyone could stop him, Goku leapt from the ramp and raced back toward the passage. "Kakarot!" Raditz shouted. "Let him go," Vegeta said unexpectedly. "If he's truly Saiyan, he won't abandon his comrades. It's a matter of warrior pride. If he dies, it's a matter of warrior stupidity," Raditz growled, but made no move to follow. Bulma took the pilot's seat. "I'm taking off in 3 minutes, with or without Goku. He survived worse than this." As the engines warmed up, an uncomfortable silence fell over the unlikely group of allies, Earth defenders, Saiyan royalty, and a Saiyan defector, all united by their opposition to Frieza, yet divided by their methods and motivations. Outside, Piccolo faced the Jinyu force alone, his cape billowing dramatically in the wind kicked up by his flaring power. "Look at this, Captain." Jees laughed. "A Namekian. Far from home, aren't you, Green Man?" "I was born on this planet," Piccolo replied coldly. "And I'll die here before I let you take it." Captain Jinyu checked his scouter. Power level 1200 and rising. Impressive for a Namekian, but hardly worth our time. He gestured casually. "Guldo, handle this nuisance while we secure the building." The short, four-eyed alien stepped forward with a smug expression. This won't take long. Piccolo settled into his fighting stance. Don't underestimate me. Guldo inhaled deeply, then held his breath. Suddenly, time froze for everyone except him, Guldo's special ability. He waddled toward Piccolo, who stood motionless in the time-stopped world. Reaching his opponent, Guldo prepared a killing blow. Only to have his concentration broken by a flying kick that sent him tumbling across the courtyard. Time resumed its normal flow as Guldo crashed into a wall. What? Guldo sputtered, looking up to see Tien standing protectively near Piccolo. Psychic abilities, Tien explained with a grim smile. I sensed your mental projection when you stopped time. It has a distinct signature. Yamcha and Kaiotsu appeared as well, battered but standing defiant beside their unlikely ally. Well, isn't this touching, Captain Jinyu remarked. The locals want to play hero. They're not the only ones, came Goku's voice as he landed among his friends. I'm not leaving anyone behind. Jinyu's scouter beeped as it reassessed Goku's power level. Interesting, a Saiyan, are you? I thought Chui mentioned there were two of you. There's more of us than you think, Goku replied cryptically. Rikum stepped forward eagerly. Captain, let me take this one. Rikum hasn't had a good fight in weeks. Very well, Jinyu agreed. Rikum, you handle the Saiyan. Jis and Berter, deal with the others. Guldo, pull yourself together and help them. I'll secure the Dragon Ball detector. As Jinyu headed toward the building, Goku moved to intercept him. Rikum immediately blocked his path. Going somewhere, the giant grinned. Rikum thinks not. Get out of my way, Goku warned. I don't want to hurt you. Rikum burst into laughter. Hurt Rikum? That's the funniest thing Rikum has heard all day. Without warning, he launched a massive punch. Goku caught the fist in his palm, the impact creating a shockwave that cracked the concrete beneath them. Rikum's eyes widened in surprise. Not bad, he admitted. Rikum might enjoy this. Across the courtyard, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, and Kaiotsu found themselves surrounded by Jis, Berter, and a recovered Guldo. We can't beat them head-on, Tien whispered. We need to work together and fight smart. Piccolo nodded. The small one, Guldo, is their weakness. He relies on his time-stopping ability. If we can neutralize him first. Leave that to me, Kaiotsu volunteered. My telekinesis might counter his psychic powers. Enough whispering. Jis called out. Time to die, Earthlings. The battle erupted across the courtyard. Goku and Rikum traded earth-shaking blows while the others engaged in a more tactical struggle against the remaining Jinyu Force members. Inside the Capsule Corp building, Captain Jinyu methodically made his way toward the laboratory, dispatching any resistance with casual efficiency. Upon reaching the lab, he found it empty, with a hole blown through one wall and signs of a hasty departure. Clever, he muttered, activating his scouter. But not clever enough. The device picked up energy signatures moving away from the complex through an underground passage. Jinyu smiled coldly. Found you. In the airship, Bulma frantically worked the controls as they prepared for takeoff. We can't wait any longer, she announced. They're coming. But Goku, Krillin protested. We'll have to find his own way out, Vegeta cut in firmly. Launch now. The ship's engines roared to life as it began rising from the underground hangar through a concealed exit. On the tactical display, multiple energy signatures converged on their position. We've got incoming. Bulma warned. One of them is moving really fast. As if on cue, a blue blur streaked across the sky, resolving into the form of Berter as he positioned himself. Directly in the airship's path. No one escapes the Jinyu force, he declared, preparing an energy attack. Raditz moved to the weapon controls. I've got this. He fired the ship's energy cannons, forcing Birder to dodge rather than attack. "We need cover," Bulma shouted. "Something to block their scouters." Master Roshi stepped forward. "I can create a diversion. Get ready to punch it when I give the signal." The old master moved to the ship's hatch, opening it slightly despite the rushing wind. His muscles bulged as he gathered his energy. Kamehameha. Roshi fired the massive energy wave not at Birder, but at the ground below, creating an enormous dust cloud that enveloped the entire area. "Now," he shouted. Bulma slammed the throttle forward, activating the ship's stealth systems simultaneously. The craft shot forward through the dust cloud, changing direction 3 times in rapid succession to confuse any pursuit. "Did we lose them?" Krillin asked anxiously. Cumber checked the sensors. "For the moment. The dust is interfering with their scouters, and this ship's energy signature is surprisingly well masked." "Where exactly are we going?" Vegeta demanded. Bulma's expression was determined. "My family has a compound in the mountains, isolated, well-stocked, and defendable. We can regroup there and figure out our next move." "And what about my men?" Vegeta asked. "I have 3 other Saiyans somewhere in this city. If they're as resourceful as you claim Saiyans are, they'll find a way to contact us," Bulma replied, not intimidated by the prince's tone. Vegeta glared but said nothing. For now, tactical retreat was the sensible option. But the humiliation of fleeing from Frisia's lackeys burned in his Saiyan pride. Raditz monitored the sensors anxiously. "Any sign of Kakarot? Or the others?" "Nothing definitive," Cumber reported. "Too much energy interference from the battles." "He'll be fine," Krillin assured Raditz, though his voice betrayed his own worry. "Goku always finds a way." As the ship sped away from West City, the unlikely allies settled into an uneasy truce, each with their own agenda, yet bound by their common enemy and the growing crisis. Back at Capsule Corp, Goku found himself in the fight of his life. Rikum was unlike any opponent he'd faced before, immensely strong, surprisingly fast for his size, and seemingly impervious to pain. Every powerful blow Goku landed only seemed to entertain the giant rather than harm him. "Good hit." Rikum laughed after Goku's kick sent him crashing through a wall. He emerged from the rubble, dusting himself off casually. Rikum hasn't had this much fun in ages. Goku breathed heavily, assessing his opponent. Standard techniques weren't working, he needed to try something different. Nearby, his friends weren't faring well. Piccolo and Tien had managed to hold their own against Jis, but Yamcha lay unconscious after taking a devastating hit, and Kaiotsu's attempt to counter Goldo's psychic powers had backfired, leaving him trapped in a telekinetic hold. "Goku!" Tien called out between attacks. "We need to retreat. We can't win this fight." Goku knew Tien was right, but escape seemed impossible with the Jinyu force blocking every avenue. They needed something dramatic, a game-changer. An idea struck him. Risky, but possibly their only option. "Everyone to me!" Goku shouted. "Now!" Recognizing the urgency in his voice, Piccolo grabbed the unconscious Yamcha while Tien created a momentary diversion with a solar flare technique, blinding their opponents long enough to snatch Kaiotsu from Goldo's grip. As his friends gathered around him, Goku placed 2 fingers to his forehead, concentrating intensely. "What are you doing?" Piccolo demanded. "Something I've been working on," Goku replied, his face strained with effort. "I've only done it alone before, never with passengers." Everyone grab hold. The Jinyu force recovered quickly, converging on the group. "They're trying something," Jis warned. "Stop them," Captain Jinyu ordered, having returned from his fruitless search of the laboratory. Rikum lunged forward. "Rikum eraser gun." A massive energy beam erupted from his mouth, hurtling toward Goku's group. At the last possible instant, Goku's technique activated. The world around them seemed to blur and shift, and suddenly they were gone, leaving Rikum's attack to blast harmlessly through empty space. "What the?" Berter exclaimed. "Where'd they go?" Captain Jinyu checked his scouter, scanning in all directions. No energy signatures within range. "They've completely vanished." "Teleportation?" Ji suggested. "I didn't think Saiyans had that ability." Jinyu frowned thoughtfully. "This Saiyan is different. Lord Frisia will want to know about this." He activated his communicator. "And about the royal faction's involvement as well." Miles away, on a small island in the middle of the ocean, Goku and his friends materialized on the familiar grounds of Kame House. The teleportation had worked, but the strain was evident on Goku's face as he collapsed to one knee. "Goku." Tien supported him worriedly. "Are you alright?" "Yeah," Goku managed between deep breaths. "Just, takes a lot of energy, with passengers." Piccolo stared at him in astonishment. "Instant transmission. That's a technique of the Yardrats. How did you?" "I didn't know what it was called," Goku admitted as his strength gradually returned. "I've been seeing it in dreams lately, like my mind remembered something my body forgot." He looked around. "Where's Master Roshi? And Krillin? And Bulma?" "They must have escaped with Raditz and the others," Tien surmised. "At least, I hope they did." Yamcha groaned as he regained consciousness. "Did we win?" "We survived," Piccolo corrected grimly. "That's the best that can be said." Goku stood, his determination returning. "We need to find the others." Bulma mentioned a mountain compound, that's probably where they're headed. "You're in no condition to fly," Tien pointed out. "Then we'll take the boat," Goku decided, gesturing to Master Roshi's small craft tied at the dock. "We can't stay here long anyway. They'll check obvious locations once they regroup." As they prepared to depart, Piccolo pulled Goku aside. "What happened back there, with Rikum? You were holding back, weren't you?" Goku hesitated, then nodded. "I could have beaten him if I went all out, but not all of them together. And going all out might have hurt everyone else in the area too." Piccolo studied him with newfound respect. "You're more strategic than you let on, Goku." "I just do what feels right," Goku replied simply. "Right now, that means finding our friends and figuring out how to protect the Dragon Balls from Frisia." As the boat set out across the darkening ocean, Goku gazed toward the horizon. Somewhere out there, his newfound brother and the mysterious Prince Vegeta were waiting. And beyond that, more Saiyans, his people, were coming to Earth. Including, if Raditz was to be believed, his father. The thought stirred something deep within him. All his life, Goku had wondered about his origins. Now the answers were rushing toward him faster than he could process them. But one thing was becoming clear: the carefree days of his youth were over. A storm was gathering, one that would determine not just his fate, but that of two worlds he now found himself torn between. In the mountain compound, Bulma's group had settled in and begun assessing their situation. The facility was impressively equipped, part research station, part luxury retreat, part fallout shelter. Dr. Briefs had built it years ago as a just-in-case precaution, a decision that now seemed prescient. "They took my original Dragon radar," Bulma explained, working frantically at a laboratory bench, "but I can build another one. I always keep backup components." "How long?" Vegeta demanded, pacing impatiently. "A few hours, maybe less," Bulma replied. "I've done this before." Across the room, Raditz stared out the window at the mountainous landscape, concern etched on his features. No word from Kakarot or the others? "Nothing yet," Krillin confirmed sadly. "But if anyone can escape the Jinyu force, it's Goku." Master Roshi nodded in agreement. "That boy has surpassed all my expectations. His growth as a martial artist is unprecedented." Vegeta turned his attention to the old master. "You trained Kakarot?" I gave Goku his foundation, Roshi clarified. But his greatest teacher has always been experience. Every battle makes him stronger, not just physically, but tactically. A true Saiyan trait, Cumber commented. Though most rely on brute force rather than adaptation. Which is why Frieza has dominated us for so long, Vegeta said bitterly. We became predictable. Replaceable. The observation hung in the air, uncomfortably accurate. Nappa's voice suddenly crackled through Vegeta's communicator. Prince Vegeta. Do you read me? Vegeta activated the device. Report, Nappa. We've secured a position outside West City, Nappa replied. The Jinyu force has the area locked down, but we managed to avoid detection. What are your orders? Stay hidden, Vegeta commanded. We're regrouping at a secure location. I'm sending coordinates now. He glanced at Bulma, who nodded reluctantly. And Nappa, have you detected any sign of Bardock's faction? Negative, but our long-range scanners picked up an unidentified ship entering Earth's orbit approximately 1 hour ago. Could be them. Or more of Frieza's forces, Raditz interjected. My father wouldn't risk using identifiable ship signatures. Keep monitoring, Vegeta ordered Nappa. And approach the coordinates with extreme caution. Frieza's men are actively hunting us. After ending the transmission, Vegeta turned to Cumber. You've been with Frieza's forces recently. What's his likely next move? Cumber considered the question carefully. The Jinyu force won't give up easily. They'll establish a perimeter around West City, then expand the search methodically. They'll also guard any Dragon Balls they manage to locate. But they need the radar to find them, Bulma pointed out, continuing her work on the new device. For now, Cumber agreed. But Lord Frieza might bring his own methods when he arrives. Master Roshi stroked his beard thoughtfully. We should focus on finding the Dragon Balls before they do. If we secure even one, they can't make their wish. Agreed, Raditz nodded. But we're severely outgunned at the moment. Not necessarily, Krillin said, perking up. If Goku and the others escaped, and if the ship that just arrived is your dad's faction, plus Nappa and the other Saiyans with Vegeta, we might actually have a fighting chance. Don't get ahead of yourself, Earthling, Vegeta cautioned. Even combined, our forces would struggle against the Jinyu force, let alone Frieza himself. Then we fight smarter, not harder, Bulma suggested, looking up from her work. Guerrilla tactics. Hit-and-run strikes. We know this planet, they don't. Vegeta raised an eyebrow, reluctantly impressed by the human woman's strategic thinking. Perhaps. But first, we need to consolidate our forces and gather intelligence. And find those Dragon Balls before Frieza does, Raditz added firmly. As they continued planning, Cumber quietly observed the unlikely alliance forming between humans and Saiyans. It was unlike anything he'd seen in his years serving Frieza, different species working together as equals rather than conquerors and conquered. It stirred uncomfortable questions in his mind. Had he been on the wrong side all this time? Was there truly a different path for Saiyans than conquest or submission? The very notion challenged everything he'd been taught since childhood. High above Earth's atmosphere, Bardock's ship decelerated as it entered orbit. On the bridge, the scarred warrior studied the tactical displays with growing concern. Multiple energy signatures consistent with the Jinyu force, he noted grimly. And scattered Saiyan power levels. The situation is already in motion. Orders, Commander. Tora asked. Maintain stealth protocols. Passive scanning only. Bardock rubbed his temple, fighting off the pressure of an impending vision. We need to locate Raditz and Kakarot before revealing ourselves. Fascia approached, offering a data pad. Long-range scans detect a small vessel approaching from the direction of Mars. Royal faction signature, trying to mask itself but not entirely successfully. The king moves faster than expected, Bardock muttered. How long until they reach Earth? Approximately 12 hours at their current speed, Vasha replied. Bardock considered this information. And Frisia? No sign of his main ship yet, but if the Jinyu force is here, he won't be far behind, Bardock finished. He turned to his crew. Prepare a stealth pod. I'm going down to the surface to assess the situation personally. Alone? Tora protested. Commander, with respect, this isn't open for discussion, Bardock cut him off. My sons are down there, possibly in danger. I need to move quickly and quietly, which means solo operation. Tora nodded reluctantly. At least take a full equipment loadout. We have no idea what you're flying into. Bardock agreed, though his mind was already elsewhere, focused on the pull of blood calling to blood. Somewhere on that blue world below, his sons were fighting for survival. The visions had shown him glimpses of their fate, but the details remained frustratingly obscure. One image, however, remained constant, Kakarot with golden hair, unleashing power beyond anything Bardock had thought possible. The legendary Super Saiyan, born not from the royal bloodline but from his own. If that vision was to come true, Bardock needed to find his son, before Frisia or King Vegeta did. As night fell over Earth, the scattered groups made their preparations for what all knew would be the decisive confrontation to come. The Dragon Balls, objects once sought for personal wishes, had become the focal point of a struggle with galactic implications. In the mountain compound, Bulma worked feverishly on the new Dragon radar while the others planned their next moves. The alliance was fragile, built on necessity rather than trust, yet it represented something unprecedented, cooperation between Saiyans and humans as equals. On the ocean, Goku and his friends made their slow journey toward the mountains, using the time to recover and share what they knew about their new enemies and allies. Despite the gravity of the situation, Goku's spirits remained high, the challenge before them awakening the Saiyan warrior spirit he'd never known he possessed. In orbit, Bardock prepared to descend to Earth, driven by paternal instinct and prophetic visions. Behind him, King Vegeta's ship drew ever closer, carrying royal ambition and separate plans for the Dragon Balls. And somewhere in the vast emptiness between stars, Frisia's massive flagship cruised inexorably toward Earth, bearing the tyrant who had nearly exterminated the Saiyan race once before. The scattered seeds of the Saiyan diaspora were gathering, some still loyal to their conqueror, some fighting for freedom, some pursuing power. Their convergence on Earth would either spell doom for the planet or mark the beginning of a new chapter for the warrior race that refused to be extinguished. The gathering storm was about to break. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.